Okay, so for today's video, we're gonna be diving into a little Canadian drama, Canadian issues, I guess. This is, I guess, gonna be getting in depth maybe on Bill C-11. I've heard some kind of small things about it. I've seen some other creators, kind of, put the warning sign towards this. I know it's supposed to somehow regulate what kind of content Canadians make now. But this is, I guess, with partnership of YouTube, because I've seen YouTube also push out like for people to sign petitions and this and that so that this doesn't get passed. So I figured we'd check it out together.
Hey everyone, it's Brandon from the Brandon Gona Show, and I'm working with YouTube to share an update
I gotta be honest, I don't know who this guy is. The Brandon Gomez show. I've never seen it, but news you can use. Oh, okay, cool. So he's like a news and political channel. Cool.
on some new legislation in the works in Canada. It's called the Online Streaming Act, or Bill C-11. Here are the impacts that C-11 could have on creators and users in Canada. It can determine how content appears on YouTube, including the homepage and Watch Next section. Plus, a regulator could force artificial promotion of some creators and content over others, which could impact how content reaches global audiences and could hurt views and revenue. Now, if this bill passes,
So I guess Canada now wants to get involved in the content that is made on YouTube's platform. And this sounds like they're going to be in more of control of what exactly it is that you get to see on the homepage as well as the recommendations, which I don't think is the right thing to do. The regulator could force artificial promotion of some creators and content over others. So that makes it sound like if your content is not, I don't know, Canadian enough, then your content won't be pushed out to people as much as maybe somebody else's. That doesn't seem right.
and revenue. Now, if this bill passes, it could have a huge impact on recommendations on YouTube, which means potentially a big change for Canadian viewers and creators like you and me. Now, to break down what this means, let's bring in Todd Beaupre, a director of product at YouTube, whose team helps manage what videos come your way on your home feed. Todd, let's talk about recommendations as they work now on YouTube. What are the basics we need to know?
Hey Brandon, great to be chatting with you. So our recommendations are a really key part of our YouTube viewer experience, and we've designed them to really help viewers find videos that they would enjoy watching based on what each viewer is interested in.
I mean, yeah, that's the whole point of the algorithm is you start watching something that you like, the algorithm starts to figure that out, and then it starts to funnel more content your way that kind of ties in with the stuff that you enjoy watching. Now, for Canadian government to step in and be like, actually, no, I'm gonna let you watch this stuff instead, seems kind of odd.
We want to help them discover creators and channels that are going to be really interesting to them. It's kind of like if you go to the library and you have a librarian there to help you find the next book that you might enjoy reading based on other books that you've read.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how exactly this bill might play out on YouTube. Basically, we know a regulator could make YouTube show a certain amount of Canadian videos to Canadians. So does that mean you'd have to change the recommendation system?
But how does a regulator do that? What is the Canadian government, if that is the regulator, going to do? Like, what are they going to deem? Like, say me, for example, I'm reviewing a Jewish music video because it's a Jewish video and not a Jewish music video and not a Canadian artist music video. It's not qualified enough? This seems strange. Or like NF, for example, the video I just did. He's an American artist. So because I haven't done a Canadian artist, my channel or my videos wouldn't get pushed?
First, let me tell you a little bit about how the recommendation system works today. So we collect a lot of feedback from viewers in the form of like looking at what they watch, what they don't watch, how long they watch it, whether they click like or dislike. We really aim to recommend the best videos to each viewer based on their personal interests. And so as part of that, we aim to recommend Canadian creators to both Canadian viewers as well as viewers around the world who are interested in that sort of content or
Okay, I agree with that second part that he just said. Pushing content that you're interested in, great idea. To be honest, I'm not like on YouTube looking for other Canadian content creators. I'm just coming onto YouTube to look at stuff that I enjoy looking at. So, I mean, if they happen to be Canadian, awesome. If they're not, I'm not like, oh gosh, I can't watch this guy. He's not Canadian. So that part to me doesn't really matter, but I do like the second part that he just said. Yeah.
content similar to it, regardless of whether the video was uploaded in Canada or somewhere around the world. And by doing this, we're able to maximize the audience for Canadian creators.
Okay, so if Canadians get artificially served up Canadian content, what happens to the systems?
So what would happen is we'd end up mismatching viewers to videos that they would be most interested in the...
Sorry to pause again, but another side note. If you've ever watched Canadian content, to be honest, it is not good. Especially the stuff that's on like TV. You can always tell when it's like a Canadian movie or a Canadian TV show because the acting's terrible, the casting's pretty bad, the storylines are pretty bad as well. So getting pushed more of that, I don't think I would be interested in. But again, that could just be me. Some people might really love Canadian content. There's only been a few shows like Kim's Convenience and um the other one with the guys from Newfoundland, I think it is. I forget now, but yeah, most Canadian content I don't enjoy watching.
Space of Canadian content creators, we would be showing their videos to people who would be less interested than other videos. And what that ends up meaning is the reaction from those viewers is likely to be that they're less likely to click on those videos.
For sure.
If they do click on the videos, they would be less likely to like them, or maybe they would dislike them or watch them a lot less. And so that negative feedback that we collect can actually have a ripple through the system because it basically teaches the system that this content from Canadian creators isn't as engaging and satisfying as other content that is not getting kind of like pushed too much in the system.
Yeah, I mean, that's gonna hurt people in the end because if Canadian content's being pushed out and people aren't into it, then it's not gonna be viewed as often. It's gonna drop in the algorithm, as he mentioned, and then those videos will just disappear into the ether. And say somebody put in a lot of time and effort into making it, or it is a good video, but it's not getting targeted to the right audience because it's being regulated. Yeah, that's gonna not only impact views and how well the video does, but as they mentioned, somebody's income and stuff like that. So this is a terrible idea. I don't even know who the hell came up with this.
And so that could actually backfire by reducing how much that Canadian content gets recommended to other viewers. In fact, today, over 90% of the views on Canadian creator content come from viewers outside of Canada.
Can you explain a little bit more why?
Take me for example. Majority of my viewer base is either in the US, Israel, Australia, everywhere else but Canada. I think I got a few Canadians, but majority is not in Canada. So if my videos weren't getting pushed out to other people or was only getting pushed out to Canadians who aren't really viewing my content, yeah, that would suck.
Why that feedback loop is so important? Like, why would these negative signals hurt creators?
We protect this feedback loop very much. As an example, we keep our advertising systems separate from our recommendation systems. So if a creator were to buy advertising for a video, for example, we don't allow that activity to influence a viewer's recommendations because we don't want that organic feedback loop from the audience to be tampered with, ultimately hurting Canadian creators and reducing their opportunity both in viewership and revenue.
And what about the viewer? Like, is it helpful to get served up Canadian recommendations?
When we would introduce
Again, I think it's only beneficial if you're a Canadian content creator who is looking for other Canadian content, or specifically like whatever that Canadian content creator is putting out. Again, just because you're Canadian doesn't mean I care enough to watch all of your content or your videos. I think one big guy that I know that's Canadian, I think he's the unboxing guy. At least I think he is. I always see him wearing a Toronto's Blue Jays hat, so I think he's Canadian. But like, I love watching his unboxing videos, but I'm not subscribed to his channel. I just like go to it every once in a while. If all of a sudden I'm just getting pumped his videos, that would be really annoying. Like, you have a subscriber list and you have the ability to kind of cater your channel in the channels that you want to look at for a reason, because that's what you're interested in, not getting pushed all this random stuff.
sort of artificial recommendations, it would hurt the viewers because then we would be promoting recommendations that they wouldn't be interested in watching. They may end up deciding that they're not as interested in using the platform at all because they're not getting as relevant results. And so we really don't want to be recommending things to viewers that they're not interested in watching, because then they'll potentially leave, and that reduces the opportunity for everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Todd. So if you're a creator or a YouTube user watching and want to know more or add your voice to the conversation, click below on the description for details on how to get involved. Thanks, and take care.
Okay, well, very informative. What's this link here? Canadian viewer want thoughts, share K. Alright guys, so quick update to that video I just did about Bill C-11. So apparently it passed in the Senate. However, there was 26 amendments that were made. So it goes on to say, are my posts going to be regulated? Maybe not. It's looking like it will only apply to professional sound recordings, so not your audio visual posts. These two ladies here, Paula and Julie, pushed the amendments to remove most content from this CRTC control, and it explicitly spelled out that to only apply to professional sounding recordings. If passed in the final bill, it would achieve the bill's original aim, which was to only apply to professional commercial content while excluding content posted by ordinary internet users. However, but it quickly goes sideways, as the Minister of Canadian Heritage, don't know why this guy even has power, said that the ministry would reject many changes to Bill C-11. There are amendments that have zero impact on the bill and others that may have impact, and we will not accept them. The government must pass this amendment to ensure that everyday users like yourself are never to risk of being regulated by the CRTC. If they don't accept the changes in this section of 4.2, any audio-visual content we post on TikTok, Spotify, and YouTube will still be at risk of being regulated. So there was also apparently a verification clause that was slipped in. The Senate snuck in a last-minute requirement for all platforms that host adult content to verify the ages of their users before granting access. How should they do this? The amendment doesn't specify, but in the worst case, they could require Canadians to show their personal government ID to access not only dedicated adult content websites, but mixed use mainstream platforms like Twitter or Reddit, or even mainstream streaming platforms that feature some nudity like Netflix. Wow. I did not even think that they could do something like that. It goes on to ask, how will the bill C-11 affect the content I see? A key fix was unfortunately not passed. The Senate made no amendments that would limit the CRTC's power to make content discoverable. That is, promote official Canadian content over the content in your feed or search results that you'd otherwise see. According to the government, Bill C-11 will increase visibility for some officially recognized Canadian content, but through manipulating our playlists, feeds, and algorithm recommendations. Again, as I said, I don't really care for Canadian content unless that is what I'm looking for. So to be pushing this out on everybody makes absolutely no sense. It goes on to ask, so did C-11 pass? Not yet. Bill C-11 passed the Senate vote after a full review at the Standing Committee on Transport and Communication, where the Senate met with dozens of witnesses. This was when the above amendments were proposed, along with many others less critical to the health of our internet. Now BC-11 will return to the House of Commons as early as the week of February 13th for its final consideration. Whew. Now it's time to fight tooth and nail. MPs must pass the Simmons-Deschênes amendment, address the discoverability concern, and strike down age verification in this legislation. We only have a small window to email our members of parliament to ensure they pass the bill and respect your expression and your privacy. Will you email? I will definitely be emailing. Anyways, that was just a quick update. Catch you on the next one. Independent organizer. Okay, guys. Well, I'll probably link these as well in the description below. Go check them out. If there's like some sort of petition, I would suggest signing it. I don't know if it only counts for Canadian people, but yeah, this is kind of a little bit ridiculous. Hopefully this bill, I've heard that this bill has gotten pretty far in our legislation, so hopefully it doesn't pass. This was eight months ago this video was posted, and not a lot of views, only 102,000 views. This is a little worrisome. But yeah, anyways, you guys let me know as always how you guys feel about this kind of stuff, or what you think about it. And as always, I will catch you guys on the next one.